Welcome to Performance Gurus channel. We are here with Professor Vaidyanathan, Professor of Finance at IIM Bangalore. Professor, I have a question regarding Russia's role in annexing part of Ukraine. Well, not maybe annexing is too sharp a word. Maybe a way of where the Crimean part has elected to be part of Russia, and then there has been some sort of a standoff. Lately, you are now finding out that the Malaysian airline plane that was shot down, and they are going through the debris. They are finding out this is not the MH that disappeared in the ocean, but the other one that was shot down deliberately over Ukrainian skies. Now they are finding out that some of the information is related to missiles being used and so on and so forth. But that's a side issue. The thing I wanted to ask you was Russia is sort of in a similar boat like China in that its currency has also been under severe pressure. Although the one fundamental difference is that Russian currency is fully convertible, and that has drawn a lot of US investors into Russia who looked at Russia and saying, okay, there's a lot of value here, Gazprom and all the other oil companies, and they are continuing to invest. A lot of people are bullish on Russia. However, we also know that the ministers just close to Putin, all his next level of ministers, their assets have been frozen by the United States and so on. So how do you see this thing playing out in the next 18 months? What is Russia going to do about this?
See, Russia, if you look at it very interestingly, it has got two types of major pressures and challenges. One is demographically it is declining. Similar to Japan.
I see.
Not as severe as Japan, but similar to Japan. For instance, between today and 2020, which is not very far away, 15 Russians out of 100 will not be there.
I see.
Russia is shrinking demographically.
Okay.
It's one of the major concern of Russians. Actually, Putin in one of the speeches in Duma humorously or lightheartedly told, it's too serious an issue, and I would like a Russian woman to marry two Indian men. He was telling, everybody was laughing. He told at least they produce children, enough children. So Russia is facing a very and coupled with the Russian Federation got broken up.
Right.
See if you look at the earlier situation, the federated members, many of them adjacent to Russia, many of them having Islamic roots,
right,
and they were
Georgia,
actually having
example,
a reasonably good reproductive rate.
I see.
Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Georgia, Ukraine, so many countries. So the core Russia, which is left, was always having the problem of reproduction. It's, I think, so this is a bigger problem now, and they have lost all these territories.
Right.
One is the human land itself, but more important for them is also the human beings. So I think everybody would agree, demography is destiny, ultimately. It's not good for Russia in that sense.
Right.
So all their stance is how to retrieve the position vis-a-vis Ukraine, as well as vis-a-vis smaller places like Crimea and other type of areas. As far as their currency being convertible, a lot of these US guys have gone and wanted to invest. But Russia is again having the same type of problem in terms of issues of accounting, issues of transparency, and many a time their balance sheets are fudged.
I see.
It's a very limited level compared to China, but still it's not a very reliable type of a situation. So that is what these people are now finding it out. So it's and it is not very friendly also. Friendly in the sense, if you do something which are not acceptable by the state, the repercussion can be very severe.
I see.
Some of their senior business people, including in Gazprom, they have treated is not really of international standard or anything.
I see.
Now, not only that, the assets of some of the senior people of Putin have been frozen, some of them have also been banned from entering into US. And following US, some other countries have also applied the same ban.
I see.
So there is they are trying to apply significant pressure on Russia. But again, the opening up of Iran is a very interesting development for USSR actually.
I see.
Because they have a traditional ties, Iran and USSR. And as a small country like Greece, they are trying to develop some link with Russia to overcome some amount of pressure from Europe.
I see.
So this game is going on, but because of simply demographic issue, I think Russia is really a losing proposition only. Not in the 18-month context, but in a very long-term context. Incidentally, reproductive rate in US is also not very great, but the advantage for them is the Mexicans,
right.
whom they call the the undocumented aliens and various names. And in a large country in US, I am always puzzled. They don't have a proper estimate of how many Latinos are there in US.
Sorry, go ahead.
They don't have a proper estimate of how many Latinos are there in US actually. The estimate vary anywhere between 3 crore to 10 crore out of a 37 crore population.
Right.
But Russia and including even Japan is facing this severe problem. Of course, Japan is much worse because they don't accept any migrants.
Right.
They are not they are not at all enthusiastic about migrants. Russia is also not very enthusiastic about migrants actually. In the core territory of Russia,
they don't really want.
And I think that's a very major challenge for them.
Right. Maybe they should look at Dubai, which has for every Dubai national there are 7 immigrants.
Yeah.
7. I mean 7x. It's unbelievable the
Correct.
number you have in Dubai.
It's primarily run by the immigrant groups only.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a very large group.
You go through the security line.
Yeah.
Everyone there is speaking either Pakistani Urdu or Indian version of
Correct.
Hindi or
Very correct.
Filipino. All sorts of different languages. It's a melting pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor. We'll move on.